Well, click, click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
Welcome to One on One, a Bluff City Media podcast. Listen in as we go one-on-one with coaches, players, and influencers from across the city of Memphis and around the country. Now, let's get to the show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of One on One. I'm your host, Christian Fowler, and joining me this week is Memphis linebacker Chandler Martin. Chandler, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on? How you doing? I'm doing good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. First things first, you've been in the city for a few months now. What's it been like? What's kind of the adjustment to the city been like for you?
Coming from a smaller school, it was a good adjustment, just coming to a bigger city and just finding my way around. But everybody in Memphis is really nice and really cool, and everybody's really just welcomed me with open arms. And it's been a great adjustment. I'm really loving it here.
What about on the field so far? I know so many people, when you come from a smaller school to a bigger school, the first question is, what's the jump like? What's the transition like? So let's start there a little bit. Obviously, extremely productive at ETSU, and we'll get into your time there a little bit. But what has the jump been like so far? Obviously, you haven't played any games, any actual regular season games yet, but just where's your comfortability at? How have you felt so far at Memphis?
It's been good for me. I've been learning every day, and my saying is, as long as I get 1% better every day, just continue to study, and preparation prevents not knowing what's going on, and just being prepared for me has really helped me. And come from spring camp all the way to now, where we're about to start fall camp, it's me learning and try not to make the same mistake every day, or try not to make the same mistake the next day. So it's been good for me. I would probably say the biggest difference is the linemen. They're pretty big, they're taller, but for the most part, it's just football. I've been playing since I was 5.
So what's the role for you in Matt Barnes' defense? We know he likes to be multiple. He likes to move players around. He likes versatility. Obviously, you did a lot of different things at ETSU, but what's your role here, and what do you see it being, for this season?
I would say my role would be just to be the best teammate I can be and try to contribute any way I can on the team, whether it's on defense, special teams, being a great teammate. And it's just me being wherever they need me to do. And honestly, I'm willing to do whatever to get the win. And whether it's me taking all the snaps, or it's me taking half, or, it's whatever I need to be to help the team win and just be a great teammate at the end of the day.
So as far as actually on the field, like position-wise, is it weak side backer, is it strong side backer? Is it a hybrid of coming down and rushing off the edge and playing off ball and coverage? What exactly is the on-the-field role like?
It's more weak side backer right now. So playing weak side backer, I'm also learning the mic position as well, so I can be multiple. I want to learn what everybody's doing on the field, but mainly it's the weak side backer right now.
Who's and not to like single people out, but like who's kind of stood out to you, and whether it's from a leadership role or on the field role, specifically in the linebacker room with you, and then just on the defense as a whole, who's kind of stood out and helped, like I said, whether it's been leadership on the field, just people that have impressed you play wise. What are some of your takes on your teammates?
That's a good one. I would say in the linebacker room, Jeff Kenton, he's been a great leader and a great example. And when I first got in, he was there to show me the ropes until I got it on my own. And it's a lot of good linebackers. Sincere Evans, good linebacker, and they've just kind of helped me get along and helped me learn the scheme more and just become more comfortable. And I would say on the defense, I would say Cromartie Hamilton. He's been a good as well. Just everybody's been very welcoming, and everybody's been helping me just grow as a player and a person. And probably the last person I'd say would be Simeon. Simeon Blair stood out like from day one. You could tell he flying around, just the mature from playing at Arkansas, and he's been good. So everybody on the team has really been good. So
Expectations are really high this year for the defense, specifically like with what Matt Barnes and the defense were able to do, especially towards the end of last season in his first year as the DC. What do you think? What do you see? What are kind of your expectations for this defense as a whole going into the season?
I would expect the defense to fly around, create turnovers, and have fun. We have so much talent on the team and so much time on defense. I expect us to be relentless in our effort, just physical, strong, and most importantly, smart too as well. So I'm expecting a lot out of the defense this year.
Let's talk about the career at ETSU a little bit. Obviously, very productive player, all conference player. What was it like? What was your career like there? And what was the decision to leave? Because I'm sure there, is a part of you, of course, that wants to stay there, but what went into the decision to go ahead and enter the transfer portal and then ultimately come to Memphis?
Sure. So to start off, I graduated high school when I was 16 years old. So I was
Jeez.
17. I was 17 for a week when I got to ETSU. So obviously I had a lot of growing and maturing to do. So I got there during the COVID year, and the COVID year didn't count on our eligibility, and I redshirted the next year. So I had time to really learn and mature and grow in our coach's defense. And when I got there, when I played as a redshirt freshman, I just took my opportunity and ran with it, honestly. And I was trying to be the most consistent guy on the field and just know everybody's position so I can be the best teammate possible at the end of the day. And obviously I had a productive career, so a productive season. And it wasn't really me about the stats. It was just me trying to be the best teammate, like I was saying, and do everything I can help the team, just do to help the team win. So I would say.
And then what was the decision like after the season
Oh,
to
decision
enter
to
the
leave.
portal?
Okay. So the decision to leave, it was a very hard one. It was just me being uncomfortable and me willing to continue to grow as a player and a person. So my decision to leave, it was very tough because you have all your friends and everybody that's rooting for you there, but it was just ultimately me wanting to continue to get better and not become complacent, and somewhere that could develop me and grow me as a player and a person. So I think that was a part of my decision to leave.
Why was Memphis the choice? Obviously, you had multiple schools after you offering you that wanted you to come to their program. So why was Memphis ultimately the choice for you?
Memphis had a lot to offer for me, and it was just the opportunity to play. I really connected well with the linebacker coach, Coach Hankins, and Coach Silverfield was a great guy, and it was just I wanted opportunities outside of football as well. And this past summer, I had an internship. I had a marketing internship this past summer, so they were allowed to set me up off the field and grow my experience off the field. And it was just, I feel like all in all, it was a great decision for me to leave and just choose Memphis, because they've had everything I was looking for in a sense.
Let's talk about the difference between spring, summer, fall. Obviously, the differences there are obvious, but just for you specifically as a player. So you get here in the spring, live bullets flying. It's like learning a new system, being at a new school, all these things are going on. And then I'm sure throughout the summer, it slows down a little bit. You get to get into the playbook a little bit more. You get more meetings with coaches and position groups and the defense as a whole. And now you're getting ready to go out for fall camp. What do you think the difference is going to be like for you specifically going from spring, like I said, kind of head on a swivel, like let's see what each day is going to bring.
Yeah.
Now it's slowing down a little bit, in the defense a little bit better, in your teammates, being a little more familiar with them. So kind of tell me what you feel like the differences will be between spring and fall camp coming up.
I would say in the spring, I got here, I was trying to figure everything out. It was just a lot going on for me. So I feel like me learning the new system, it was definitely some growing pains. And as I got comfortable and just kept growing and learning how they like to do things, it was definitely a major improvement from practice one to the last practice. And I just wanted to continue to keep growing in my development. And over the summer, I would say it really gave me a time to sit down and just like study the playbook and study my film, and also give me some time to change my eating habits, and create some new habits and stretching and getting loose and eating well. I really changed my body well over the summer. And it was just a lot of good time to continue to learn and continue to grow in the scheme and grow with my players and teammates and spend more time outside of football. And I think the summer was really crucial for me to like settle into Memphis and just, I would say, just continue to get better as a person, just continue to get better. I'm getting 1% better. And for the fall, it will be just time to get going, time to get my mind right, time to continue to study, time to continue building on and creating the habits I have created as well. So I think it's time to keep going.
So for Memphis fans who haven't been able to see you yet, if they weren't able to see you in the spring game, or if they haven't pulled up any film from your time at ETSU, describe yourself as a player a little bit. You've talked some about, being versatile and being able to, be willing to do whatever the team asks of you, but just in the more specifics, who are you as a player?
I think Memphis fans are getting a hardworking, very intellectual, instinctual player. Fast, physical, just an exciting player to be around, and just someone who will give it all for the team, like I was saying earlier, and just someone who's going to fly to the ball, like sideline to sideline linebacker. I try to model my game after linebacker Roquan Smith. So my parents both went to Georgia, so I grew up watching him. So I try to model my game after him, and sideline to sideline physical linebacker, I would say.
Would you describe yourself as like kind of the modern prototype linebacker? Obviously, back in the day, it was 6'2", 230, 240 thumpers.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what the linebacker position was. Now it's more, I don't want to say smaller, but it's not. I mean, it is smaller. You're not 240, and that's not what a linebacker is anymore. It's smaller, hybrid guys, versatile, can cover, are fast. So would you categorize yourself as kind of like the modern prototype for a linebacker as far as just body wise and speed wise?
For sure, I would. As the offenses continue to spread out, you have to continue to spread out with them and get faster and be more multiple in what you can do. And being able to cover has been a really big skill I was working on in the summer, just to improve my versatility, because I know they're going to be spread out, and it's just going to be a lot of like getting you wide and being able to run and not being 240. I've cut my body fat down tremendously, and I've cut my weight down, so I've been moving good too. So I think it would be good, and just I agree. I think I would be a modern linebacker. Answer the question.
Yeah, I think you make a good point with the way the offenses move nowadays, spread out, fast tempo. Everyone wants to go fast, get as many plays as possible. It doesn't necessarily have to be down the field shots anymore. Everything can be around the line of scrimmage, quick RPOs, stuff like that. So how much of an advantage is your speed for you? Because we've seen slower linebackers still be able to be productive, but ultimately that's like the knock on them. If you're not a faster linebacker, the knock on you is you're going to have trouble against spread offenses. So how much of an advantage is it for you?
I think my speed is a great advantage for me, honestly. And me understanding the scheme also helps me to play even faster. So I think my ability, my knowledge, like in the scheme, helps me to play even faster. So I think my speed it definitely helped me to just get past the big lineman and use my moves and use my agility. So I think it would be a great asset for me.
So this season, we've talked. I continue want to talk about versatility because I think it's just so interesting. And like I said, watch film on you and how much you were in the backfield last year and lining up a little bit wider, lining up more, on the line of scrimmage with, not with your hand on the ground, but off ball, in coverage, just in the gaps as a traditional linebacker. What is your favorite part of playing linebacker? I always think that's interesting. Is what do guys enjoy the most about their position group? So what's the best part to you about playing linebacker?
That's a good question. I honestly feel linebacker has to be the most versatile position on the field. We have to be able to pass cover, defend the run, and I would say my favorite thing would probably be just being physical. I feel like the game has kind of gotten away from the physicality point, but since I was a little kid, my coach, he said snot bubbles, and it's just being able to dominate an opponent. Like physicality would be just understanding the scheme and just go be physical and play fast, just fast and physical, I would say, and being able to hit the gaps and blitz. I like blitzing as well, and just I would say my favorite thing is physicality. Yeah.
Physicality overall. Yeah. I mean, you have to be physical to play linebacker. You have to. It's part of the position.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked a little bit about some of the defensive players that have stood out to you and guys that have helped you along the way. Practicing against this offense every day in the spring, obviously you'll get to see them more in the coming weeks. But who stood out to you? I know obviously you got guys that are banged up in the spring and some guys don't play as much, but who impressed you offensively? And when you practice against them, we're like, oh yeah, that dude, he's got something.
I would say obviously Seth. Seth impressed me a lot over the spring. Just his knowledge of the game and he holds you with his eyes, and he's going to be a great quarterback this coming year. I would say also running back Sutton Smith. He impressed me with his speed and his agility. He has real breakout potential. Like, he can take a swing route and take it to the crib if you let him. So let me see who else. So receivers too, Demir Blankney. He was a good receiver, showed some good traits and just shifty. And I would say there's a lot of guys on the team that really impressed me. I was new, trying to fill everybody out. But those guys really stood out to me in general.
All right, Chandler. So we talk a lot about football schemes on the field, all this stuff. But you're a person too. I know some people, some people would just view players as players, but you're a person too. So off the field, what do you like to do? What are you into? Just let people know a little bit more about yourself as Chandler the person, not just Chandler the football player.
So off the field, whenever I'm not playing football, I would say I'm a video game guy. So I'm a Fortnite, Madden, 2K guy, and my major is business marketing also as well. So I'm very like an entrepreneur, I would say. So I actually this is my T-shirt. So I
was noticing that. I was going to ask you about that too.
It's my T-shirt. So I've been into just continuing to learn and use my marketing skills and developing stuff. And I'm also a good cook too. So I like to find food, but I also like to cook food and just figure out different ways to make things and do things as well. So I would say a big entrepreneur, big entrepreneur.
What's the go-to meal? If you're cooking, what's the go-to meal?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say chicken and shrimp Alfredo would be my go-to meal.
That's it. That's the number one.
I would say that would be the number one, like, go-to for me, like quick meal to make. But my favorite might be like a steak and potatoes, a good steak and potatoes.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it at all. All right, Chandler, well, I appreciate you for jumping on, man. Everybody, thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. If you're listening, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening, you can subscribe there as well. Leave a comment. Chandler, I really appreciate it, man. Look forward to seeing you on the field this year, and good luck.
All right, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of One on One. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube page. We will see you back here next time.